I think that unfortunately, Israel's hostility towards Arabs in general and Palestinians in particular is increasing and will increase because because it is depending. Israel depends now more than ever on its most racist elements. And they are increasing rapidly in population, whereas the population of what some people call more moderate elements is not increasing as fast, or is perhaps even decreasing. Many of the people who dislike the racist settler movement have actually left Israel because they don't want to be in such a state. So the result is Israel will come to depend more and more on these racist elements, and it will become a kind of an isolated fortress of extreme, radical, right-wing racist people. If that happens, they will, of course, cause great harm to the Palestinians and probably to their Arab neighbors as well, as they're firing every week once or twice into Syria to destroy something in Syria. But at the same time, they're going to lose the more, let's say, liberal elements of the Jewish community, even the Zionist community, people who call themselves Zionist, that they'll be so disgusted that they won't support it. And it's hard to say whether what that will mean for Israel, but I think it may be Israel will destroy itself, in effect. From the Palestinian point of view, the accumulating allies from all over the world and getting public opinion on its side is a good thing, obviously, but it's not necessarily the thing that will liberate Palestine. Palestine is, the Palestinians can either liberate themselves through great sacrifices even greater than they have already made, or they just have to wait for Israel to implode. The Zionist state the Zionist project is, I think, on its way to imploding and disappearing. This current Israeli government is able to have an operating majority in the government. And so this is, but it's having the effect, the huge demonstrations that we see in Jerusalem and elsewhere by the Zionists themselves, the so-called liberal Zionists, is an illustration of the division. And so it's not the Zionists dividing themselves from the non-Zionists. It's the extreme Zionists, the most racist Zionists, dividing themselves from the compromised Zionists. So that's an important change, and I think it's going to be magnified over time. It's going to increase over time. In order to incite revenge, in order to incite more fighting, because they want to kill more Palestinians and they want to have an excuse to go even farther. And the reason and who is he appealing to? Who supports this killing of women and children and old people in Palestine? Well, this is exactly the government that they have there, the majority government in the Israeli government. There are people who are saying, good, let's get them where it really hurts, and let's kill children. Well, these are the racists we're going to be dealing with. And they are not an appealing bunch, Because if you want to appeal to people who actually care about life, and many Jews who consider themselves Zionists care about life, but not these Zionists, not the Zionists that follow the current leaders of the Israeli government. So I think they're digging themselves a hole.
Do you think that the last attack on Gaza was linked to the internal politics and internal division?
Absolutely. Absolutely, it was linked to the internal politics. No question about it. How different is this from the time of the Tsars in Russia going to destroy a Jewish village beyond the Pale with their Cossacks and this sort of thing. Every time something goes wrong, every time there's a famine or something like that, it's finding a scapegoat and a target for the rest of the population to blame for their troubles. This is exactly what Netanyahu is doing. With the Palestinians and Arabs as their main target, their main enemy, I think that they will overcome the internal divisions which are deep. But if and when they feel that more secure, and if they're able to ethnically cleanse the land that they occupy, then the internal divisions will become even greater than they are now. And let's face it, right now, their internal divisions are very big. But I don't foresee that they will be able to reach these goals of a massive ethnic cleansing of what are now called occupied territories, even inside what the world considers to be the borders of Israel. The population of Jews is not increasing against its own Arab population, even though some Arabs, the Palestinians, that is to say, even though they sometimes seek to go elsewhere because of the oppression within the Zionist entity. So no, I think that this is a problem that is not going to go away for them.